Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And I beg to move the following motion, that aware that the National Dialogue Committee was established by Parliament through a resolution passed by the National Assembly and Senate on the 16th of August 2023 and 29th of August 2023, respectively. Further aware that the resolution outlines the mandate of the committee, which includes to facilitate dialogue, consensus building, and recommend appropriate constitutional, legal, and policy reforms on issues of concern to the people of Kenya. Acknowledging that since its establishment, the committee has made tremendous progress in exercise of its mandate and has achieved the following milestones. One, formulated and adopted the framework agreement, framed and adopted the statement of issues, unbundled the issues and agreed on prioritization of issues, harmonized the unbundled issues, conducted public participation and stakeholder engagements in line with the requirements of Article 10 of the Constitution, and examined and analyzed the memoranda that were received from the public and stakeholder submissions. Further cognizant that the committee is presently in the process of considering the issues for negotiations and recommending appropriate constitutional, legal, and policy reforms on each of the framed issues, which are electoral justice and related matters, outstanding constitutional matters, fidelity to political parties and coalitions, and the law on multi-party democracy, entrenching the National Government Constituencies Development Fund, the National Government Affirmative Action Fund, and the Senate Oversight Fund into the Constitution, and establishment and entrenchment of state offices. Conscious, Honorable Speaker, that the resolution, as passed by both houses of Parliament, required the committee to report to the leadership of Kenya Kwanza and Azimio coalitions within 60 days from 29 August 2023, and recognizing the need for the committee to conclude the consideration of the issues for negotiations, the process of making the appropriate constitutional, legal, and policy reforms on each of the issues as framed by the committee, and preparation of a report for submission to the leadership of both the Kenya Kwanza and Azimio coalitions and thereafter to Parliament. Now, therefore, the Houses of Parliament resolve to extend the mandate of the National Dialogue Committee by a further 30 days from the 28th October 2023, and consequently, the committee shall be required to report to the leadership of Kenya Kwanza and Azimio coalition on or before the 26th of November 2023, and thereafter submit its report to Parliament. Honorable Speaker, as the motion says, Honorable Speaker, we resolved in the National Dialogue Committee, Honorable Speaker, to seek an extension of our mandate from the envisaged initial period of 60 days by a further 30 days. And Honorable Speaker, as the motion says and is self-explanatory, we have indeed covered a lot of ground in the last 50 or so days, Honorable Speaker, and with only less than 10 days to go. This week, Honorable Speaker, we took a break to allow the technical teams and the Secretariat to put together a lot of work on the issues that we agreed on last week, and those that we are yet to agree, and be able to frame the issues that we have divergent opinions and those that we converge in opinion, and be able to frame them in a manner that will be able to quickly be able to negotiate. And Honorable Speaker, as you are aware, having been a very seasoned diplomat and our number one diplomat when you are Minister for Foreign Affairs, matters to do with dialogue and negotiations are indeed lengthy and delicate, and we do not want to rush into this. So, and especially even to also allow our technical teams to guide the committee in terms of the constitutional provisions and legal provisions, and even be able to come up with draft legislative interventions, and if there are any constitutional interventions, also to be able to come up with that so that they form part of our report. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, we realize that we may not be able to complete that within the time that is left. And Honorable Speaker, as we resume the negotiations next week, that would only leave us with about 5 days next week, as the days would have lapsed on Saturday 28th. And therefore, we only had 5 days, Monday to Friday. And we sought, therefore, to come back to both houses, seek concurrence of the House to allow us more time. Honorable Speaker, to be able to engage and consider all the issues, as we said, in line with Article 10 of our Constitution, to also engage with the memoranda and the stakeholder engagements, Honorable Speaker, that we were able to listen to. And members who have been following see that we engaged in a matter of about 5 days with over 60 stakeholders, and we had 704 persons drawn from stakeholders who appeared before the committee, and over a similar number who sent memoranda both by email and others handwritten, including members of parliament, who some I can see here, the Honorable Karoli Omondi, who took his time not only to send memoranda but also to appear before the committee to give his submissions, and the Honorable Pukose, and many others, including the member for Tiati, and many other members of parliament who appeared on various issues, Honorable Speaker. And we do not want to do a report that will not take into account all those issues. And therefore, we are seeking that the concurrence of the House for extension of time. But may I also, Honorable Speaker, in conclusion, say that the committee may not need to sit for the entire 30 days, but we are cautious that we do not come and seek an extension of 2 weeks or 15 days, then we run into problems and have to come to the House again, and probably come at a time when the House is on recess. That's why we thought to do this early enough so that we have at least another 30 days to the end of November. But we are certain before the end of November we shall have completed and tabled a report before Parliament, and also reported back to the leadership, coalition leadership on both sides for the way forward on the issues that have been at hand. Let me take this opportunity, Honorable Speaker, not just to thank the hundreds of Kenyans who wrote to the committee, who took their time to submit memoranda through email, some even through WhatsApp, and some by delivering them by hand to Bomas and also to the Secretariat here in Parliament, and also Parliament and the Clerk's Office and your office, Honorable Speaker, for the support, especially on secretarial services, that you have extended to the committee. Committee that has worked under very strenuous circumstances, Honorable Speaker, as you are aware. We have had no budget at all, and we have had to rely on the support of well-wishers, Honorable Speaker, and we pray that the well-wishers who have been supporting the committee may continue. And I want to plead to members who are very keen to seek to appear before the committee, if they could also contribute to the budget of the committee, Honorable Speaker, in these last hours. Unfortunately, one of the civil society organizations that was funding the committee's conferencing facilities, towards the end of last week indicated to us that they had run out of budget, and therefore, Honorable Speaker, may also be part of the reason that this week we are not able to meet. But I want to plead that we will get the necessary support from all other well-wishers who may want to support this endeavor. Because dialogue, Honorable Speaker, and you have told us this numerous times, that it never hurts to speak to each other than speaking at each other. And indeed, through this process, Honorable Speaker, some of the issues that seemed very momentous and issues that we never have agreed on, through dialogue, negotiation, consultations with mutual respect, Honorable Speaker, we have been able to surmount what seemed like mountains. And Honorable Speaker, many Kenyans will bear us witness that this dialogue process has in a big way helped to calm the nation and allowed all of us as leaders to focus on what we were elected to do, to deliver services to the people of Kenya. With those many remarks, Honorable Speaker, I beg to move and request the leader of minority, Honorable Opiyo Wandayi, who is also the Azimio Deputy Delegation Leader, on behalf of his delegation leader, His Excellency Kalonzo Musyoka, to second.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I wish to second this motion. And Mr. Speaker, in seeking this short extension or to the National Dialogue Committee's term, we are simply exercising abundance of caution, as rightly put by the Honorable Ichungwa. Because, as a matter of fact, we may not actually need those 30 days. But since we are aware that the Senate is going on recess on the 19th of this month, it would only be advisable that we take this precaution, that we act proactively, so that we get this committee given the life it requires to undertake its work to conclusion. Mr. Speaker, if there's something we have learned throughout the term of this committee so far, is that Kenyans of all walks of life, Kenyans of various backgrounds, Kenyans of diverse schools of thought have come before us in the committee to express themselves robustly on issues they feel strongly about, issues they feel this committee should deal with, over and above even the issues that we had outlined earlier on. The Speaker, we have seen, for instance, far-reaching recommendations coming forth from the judiciary, from the Supreme Court, from the Council of Governors, from the Council of the County Assemblies Forum. They have all come before us to make oral representations with far-reaching recommendations, including the clamor to introduce a World Development Fund, which was never in the initial agenda, Mr. Speaker. The clamor to entrench devolution, to make devolution work, Mr. Speaker, by strengthening the counties by way of increasing their revenue, their share of national revenue, equitable share of revenue, and so on and so forth. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, I can say without all confidence that this committee has done extremely well so far, and Kenyans should not lose hope. Mr. Speaker, I have seen the media trying to run with the narrative that the committee is giving preference, or is giving prominence, is giving preferential treatment to issues that don't concern Kenyans. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the issues which are on the table, they are all issues to do with the people. They are neither Azimio nor Kenya Kwanza issues as we speak. They are Kenyan issues. And Mr. Speaker, I also want to say this as I conclude, that even the matter of the cost of living, which obviously is covered under Article 43 issues, is an issue that the committee is properly seized of. And I've always said that this committee will not complete its work without addressing itself to the matter of the cost of living. The matter of the cost of living. And I also want to echo what Honorable Ichungwa said, that this committee, its establishment and proceedings have had the effect of calming the country. And the country has been able to move as a unit, Mr. Speaker, insofar as these talks are concerned. So we expect, Mr. Speaker, that if the House, in its wisdom, can grant us that extension, we shall be able to now undertake the final bit of this work. As a matter of fact, Mr. Speaker, the real negotiations started just last Thursday. On Thursday last week and on Friday is when we now had real negotiations happening. Because previously we have had to listen to the public, members of the public and agencies and groups. Now real negotiations have just started, and the speed at which we are moving, it is highly encouraging. Mr. Speaker, I don't want to say any more than that, and I wish to plead that honorable members kindly grant the committee the extension that it is seeking. With that, I second.
Order, honorable members. Order, honorable members in the walkway. Order. Take your seats.